Hey, Andrew here with Mike at CMMG. You got some goodies that are brand new this year. Obviously, this one's a 300 blackout, right?
Yeah, and it takes clock mags.
Because it's, you heard I was coming.
Yeah, no.
But
your reputation does not precede you in the slightest.
But it is best millimeter, and you had me at best millimeter. Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, all I have to say is 10, right? And that pretty much covers it. So, this is our Mark 10. So, Mark 10 obviously stands for 10 millimeter. It does take Glock magazines. We came out with this out of necessity. 10 mil is something that everybody's been wanting for the last few years. And when we introduced the radial delay blowback operating system in 2017 with the 45 ACP, the first question everybody asks is, well, when's the 10 mil coming out? It's like the ink hadn't even gotten dried on the press release for the 45, and everybody's like, where's 10 mil?
Yeah.
So our guys really went to town trying to get it tuned in. The thing is, it's not as easy as just simply rechambering around. There's a lot of different stuff and pressures you have to worry about.
10 millimeters way higher pressure than 45.
It can be.
So, roughly the same cartridge overall length, but like substantially higher pressures, and I mean,
and that's the thing with 10 mil though too, is you can get some really watered down, really light loads, and you can get some really heavy thumping loads.
That's a good point.
So we had to have something that was going to be capable of balancing that decently, still using our radio delay blowback operating system, and not going to like just a standard blowback, which it kind of beats you up as you use it. So we were super happy to get that release last fall. I think it got a lot of praise when it came out because 10 millimeter, finally, we did it.
So walk us through this for folks who don't know, because most folks would look at this bolt carrier from here and say that's a standard AR bolt carrier. There's a gas key right here. Right. There's a cam pin right here. What's different?
It's actually quite a bit. It's not actually a gas key. This is also, multiple purposes. For one, it actually helps keep the carrier in place in the upper itself, keeps it from rotating. It also is blocked off on the end, so if somebody tries to stick this in something with a gas key, it's not going to allow it to actually work, so it's kind of a fail-safe there too. But we actually have some chamfers on the back of this bolt face here, if you see these. So this actually aids to the delayed blowback. So basically what happens is, as the round starts pushing back on it, so you figure when the bolt is closed, the round starts pushing against the bolt itself. When it starts pushing against the bolt itself, the lugs on the back of the bolt face start interacting with the lugs on the chamber, and then it slowly starts to open it up. When that starts to happen, it turns the gas key, which then forces the carrier back. So it's kind of reverse of what you think of with DI. But once that gets done with its cycle, it bleeds off just enough pressure that from that point it operates like standard blowback.
Once this carrier starts moving, the inertia is basically stored in it like a kinetic battery, and it's
And then we also have a weight in here too. So this actually helps absorb a little bit of that extra recoil also. But it looks like a standard AR BCG, but there's a lot going on hidden into this guy.
Because it's delayed blowback, you don't need as much mass in the bolt as you would for a straight blowback.
Correct. So like when we introduced this in the 9 mil, one of the things that we really showed people is the 9 mil blowback AR has been out forever. And if you shoot that compared to like a 223 or 5.56, it has a surprising recoil impulse to it. You're like,
for a 9 millimeter.
For a 9 millimeter, you shoot it and you're like, what did I just shoot? Well, going from that to the radial delay blowback, we actually, being able to do this bolt versus a standard blowback, being able to use a standard carbine buffer versus a 9 mil buffer, you have 6 ounces less reciprocating mass in there. So that just tames it down. So we just took all of that technology with the previous models and got it tweaked for the 10 millimeter.
Awesome. So when is this available?
This is out now.
Right now we can go into a gun store and buy it? Awesome. What's the MSRP?
Depending on the model, I believe they start at about $14.50 and go up.
Okay. So why does it say 300 on it if it's clearly best millimeter?
Because this is our 300 series. So this is a Banshee, which means it's one of our pistols or SBRs. And under that Banshee line, we have a 100 series, which is going to be your entry-level stuff. It's going to have, your traditional pistol tube, A2 style pistol grip, not a lot of frills. Go to the 200 series, you start getting like MOE furniture and a few nicer things. You get to the 300 series we've got here, you have Premier Cerakote, one of 10 colors. You get our ambi controls, a lot of extra stuff going on it.
A charging handle?
Yep. So it's basically the 300 series is our top of the line.
Gotcha. So that makes sense.
But that's the 10 millimeter, and that we came out with that in the fall. But what you've got in your hand is the new hotness.
This is just sick as hell.
I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint because, you know, you're all about your 10 millimeter, and now we're having to leave your baby.
And talk about something in 223 short.
Sure.
So tell me about this. This is 5.7 by 28, right?
5.7 by 2.8. We actually came out with the Mark 57 in 2018, which uses our radial delay blowback operating system again on the 5.7 by 2.8 cartridge. That particular one took the FN 5.7 handgun magazines. Well, we took that upper and then adopted it to be able to run 40 rounds of 5.7 in a standard AR-15 lower. So nothing special about the lower at all. But again, we have the radial delay blowback bolt carrier group. A little bit different still.
This is a lot lighter because the recoil impulse and the
Yeah, I mean, you can see there's a lot of places we trimmed a lot of fat out of that guy just to make it, you know, nice, smooth. You know,
it's because it's 5.7 and not 10 millimeter. There's
exactly. Yeah, a completely different beast. But the fun thing with this is 40 rounds of AR-15, or 40 rounds of AR-15, 40 rounds of 5.7 by 2.8 out of your AR-15. So, I mean, we have the uppers, we have bolt barrel groups, we have complete guns. So for the builders out there, you can buy, you know, the bolt and barrel. If you already have a lower and you just want to throw an upper in a magazine, we've got that. Or you can buy the complete gun. The thing I love about this is people that have, you know, Form 1, Form 4 SBRs, or if you have a transferable machine gun that's been stuck in that same caliber for a while, you now have another caliber option for it and still being able to utilize your lower.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, if you have a Form 1 SBR and your Form 1 says 5.56 millimeter on it, or maybe you're thinking ahead and you're like, I put 5.56 millimeter and 9 millimeter and 22 on mine when I Form 1 my lower. You can file an amendment to your Form 1 with the ATF and add whatever calibers you want on it. It doesn't cost an extra tax stamp or anything. You could just add that to your Form 1. So yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the options. So instead of being stuck with the caliber that you originally Form 1'd it in, you know, we have the 5.7. We even have a 9 millimeter AR conversion that you could put into a standard AR mag well. I mean, 22, ton of fun, a lot cheaper to shoot. Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many options. The 5.7 AR magazine being our most recent adaptation.
Yeah, that's going to stick in your standard AR mag pouches and all of that.
Yeah. So, you know, those of you that, you know, go out and do some training and you have your plate carrier or whatever, I mean, everything's going to fit in there just fine. It's gonna be familiar, you know. So you can have that trigger that you're used to. You can have whatever you want on the lower, and it's still going to be that gun you're used to with a new cartridge.
This is a handy little sucker. It seems like this year is the year of the 5.7. I'm not a fan of 223 short. I won't hold that against any of you that are. I'm not a judging kind of guy. No, in all honesty, this is pretty sick.
We like to think we kind of brought the resurgence back when we did the Mark 57 in 2018, and everybody else is kind of catching up to us. But you know, it's really cool to see the round. It's really cool to see the round coming back. I really like to see some more ammo manufacturers get on board.
Yeah.
Bring that price of that round down a little bit more, so more people can enjoy it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you for your time. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be at a lot more booths. Stay tuned. I love you.